For years, businesses have been told to buy software, whether it's CRMs, booking systems, marketing tools. But what if the next shift isn't about buying software, but it's about building your own software?
Because right now, with AI tools like Claude and Lovable, local businesses can turn their internal processes into custom-built systems. And that changes everything from efficiency to margins to competitive advantage.
Welcome back to the Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses, the show that gives you practical, proven marketing advice to help you grow your business right here in the UK. My name's Alan. I'm a best-selling Amazon published author, an AI enthusiast and founder of www.websitedesigners.london. We've helped businesses generate tens of millions online through smarter design and marketing.
And my name's Josh. SearchRanking.com, an SEO and AI search agency based in London and a 3-time winner of the UK Search Awards. Over the past 10 years, we've worked with more than 1,000 businesses and helped generate them over £200 million in sales.
So the shift at the moment that we've been talking about internally, offline, but also what we're seeing is from buying to building, essentially businesses that traditionally relied on kind of going to the market to buy these or subscribe to tools and software that are already pre-built to building their own. Now, absolutely, there are some limitations to this. You need to find the time to learn how to use the software, albeit I would push back and say it's so easy. I promise you it's so easy. You don't need to learn coding. You can just use natural language, i.e. using the English language to type in a prompt, tell the AI what you want it to create, and it will create it for you. But it does involve having a little play around and some patience. It may not fit your exact workflow. You might have to pay Lovable, Replit, or Claude a monthly subscription as well.
Yes, I suppose the comparison is between from buying some software that's kind of off the shelf, where you would pay for that, and that would have perhaps features that you don't need and all sorts of stuff in it. Whereas if you were to build your own software, you can build it precisely, exactly as you desire. Every business, to some degree, has an internal process, an internal system, an internal manual for a certain way that they do things currently. And instead of relying on some external software, the era of creating your own software has just begun, and using, as we just mentioned, Lovable, Claude is so easy. You can spend an hour and develop your own brand new software.
And one thing I just realized, so we've got show notes in front of us, and I think I just used the points that we were meant to use to argue against buying off the shelf software versus. But look, this is a great to have this frank conversation though. Then let's talk about the pros and cons. Let's talk about the pros and cons. The pros and cons. What are the advantages of just using an external organization to buy software? If a few would, like, to your point, are okay, but what if it doesn't give me exactly what I want? I mean, you mentioned a couple. I don't know if you want to add to that.
The problems of off the shelf.
Yeah,
Where,
yeah,
yeah, I suppose you're paying for something you don't necessarily need all the features. Doesn't match your workflow exactly. You're paying a monthly fee over and over again. Those are kind of three
yeah.
issues.
So, and not to be argumentative or to be honestly speaking, you're still going to probably have to pay a monthly fee for the likes of Claude if you're going to take your software that you've created to the next level. That said, it will likely be a less of a fee, and you can pay, let's say, 20 quid a month to Lovable or Replit, and you can generate 10 bits of tools and software that you can use, which may cost you thousands. So you may still have a monthly fee, but it'll be significantly less.
And probably the reason why you're using pre-built software is because it's cheaper than getting a coder 5 years ago
Yep,
to create your own personalized software that matches your business exactly. But
absolutely.
now with Claude, Claude Code, and all Lovable and other tools, you can make your own software. So yeah, I suppose what the next question really is,
Mm,
what is personalized software? We have touched on that, but it's essentially turning your internal processes into tools or coming up with new processes and developing brand new tools. So software that's designed specifically for you, for your business and your workflow. It's not generic. It's built around how you operate.
absolutely. And the great thing about it is if you were to do that, if you were to try and change something you've bought off the shelf for your business, it probably not impossible, but the provider's going to push back and say, "Look, we built this, you know, software that should satisfy millions of customers or tens of thousands of customers. We can't just change one bit for you." Whereas with this personalized software, what we're talking about here is you can build it how you want it to be built.
So yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Adam, you can just use your natural language, go to Claude, describe your process, perhaps copy and paste in your standard operating procedures if you have them, or if you have a manual, copy and paste that into Claude, and you can start building that software immediately.
Um, Even if you don't have operating procedures, which I hope everyone does, just have a conversation with the software and listen to one of our previous episodes about creating the best prompts and just start there.
A key point here as well is oftentimes software is developed by software developers
Mm,
and perhaps not by incredible experts in that particular realm.
mm,
So because this software you're going to develop is built by you, the expert, your software might be better than what exists currently on the market.
mhm,
Off the shelf stuff is generic. It's built, as you said, to kind of please the masses, to please the average user,
mm,
not the edge cases, not these specific functionality that would make your business work better. And it doesn't take advantage of the deep knowledge you have and the specific knowledge you have as a business owner as well. So you can probably take what's on the market now
mm.
and use that as a starting point and then build in new features and better features that make you stand out.
Absolutely. And uh, immediately I thought about why. Why should you guys even think about creating your own personal software? And we are going to touch on that later on. But let's first talk about the art of the possible. What could you, as a business, create, and why would that be helpful? And we'll talk about the why even more detail at the end. But let's talk about the art of the possible. Some examples of tools, if depending on your industry, what you could create. So if we think about service businesses, whether you're in the trades, whether you're a baker. If I don't mention bakers, my local baker might actually have a word with me. So, but look, if you're in the trades, if you're a cleaning company, if you're a baker, if whatever your service may be, you could create a job quote calculator. So people could go to your website. Potential customers could go to your website, type in their requirements, and automatically they'd receive a quote. You could even collect their email address and contact details to follow up with them as well. That's one example. Another could be a job tracking dashboard, essentially like a CRM almost as well, like a customer relationship management tool, which obviously could be slightly different to your job tracking dashboard, or it could be all in one. You could create automated follow-up systems. So whenever done a clean, 6 months later, you just drop them an automatic email to say, "Hey, would you like to um, have another clean?" HubSpot is great for that, by the way. Just throwing out a few tools here as well.
Cool. Another use case would be if you're a coach of some sort or a consultant, you could use AI to create your own personal software that helps you, excuse me, helps you onboard new clients. It can help you create a tool that sets goals for your customers and your clients. You could create a custom learning portal, your videos and showcase your expertise. I mean, as an example as well, personally, we have built our own onboarding system with Claude recently. It takes a user through the kind of our standard operating procedure for onboarding a customer. So we start off, we gather the business business information, their what's called their NAP details, their business name, address, and phone number. We note down information about how their expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, factors around that, and where they work, what services they offer. And this tool we created with AI then can summarize all that data, send it to us in an email. We can use that going forward to start our keyword research process.
Absolutely. And if you don't have SOPs, standard operating procedures, you can go to scribe.com, which can help you create some operating procedures quite quickly, or you can just use your go-to LLM, large language model, i.e. ChatGPT or Claude, to do so. Fantastic. If you're an estate agent or a property management business, you could use a property valuation tool. I've got a number of customers who are property managers or estate agents, and they pay hundreds of pounds every single month for these valuation tools. You can just create your own. You can create a lead qualification system, a buyer matching tool, area comparison dashboard. The kind of possibilities, the art of the possible here is endless. But most importantly, Josh, let's talk about why. The business impact. Why should our listeners that own businesses think about creating these personalized bits of software if you haven't already made the connection of these great kind of suggestions?
So this could be absolutely huge for your business in a number of different ways. First and foremost, it could reduce the costs you have. So as a business, my business spends more than £5,000 per month on software. We have a variety of softwares, and we have lots of campaigns and lots of things built into them, and it costs us a lot of money. If we were to build software ourselves, we could reduce that from £5,000 maybe down to a few £100. So firstly, reduce costs. Secondly, it could be a great differentiation factor, if I said that correctly. Make your business stand out
Mm,
by having your own personalized software. That onboarding software we have, we could brand it up, make it look beautiful, use that during in-person meetings on our iPad, or use it on Zoom when we go through the kickoff meeting with customers. So reduce cost, increase differentiation. It can, because it's reducing your costs, increases your margins. It can give a better customer experience. It could also reduce the time you're spending in these other softwares that have features that you don't need.
absolutely. When you talk about differentiation and price, ultimately, as a business, those are the two kind of key things. The for the people, for our listeners that love to read and love to read bits about strategy and leadership, if you Google Bauman strategic clock or strategic watch or strategy clock, or just type in Bauman, Bowman, and then strategy clock, that should give you a kind of an understanding of the importance of differentiation and price. Alternatively, you could just go and buy one of the best Amazon best-selling books called Becoming a Strategic Business Leader by yours truly, which talks about it. But look, these are very, very key things that obviously any street business leader will need to know. And ultimately, if creating these softwares can help you differentiate yourself, reduce your margins, sorry, increase your margins, reduce your costs, then who wouldn't want it? So what does this mean for the future? If we think about it, will every business have internal tools? Maybe. Uh, um, Ultimately, I don't think we're there yet. Those who act now will have a differentiator. So act now. This is just because you're hearing it from us, it does not mean you've missed the boat to be a first mover. Go and do it. Um, do it now. You can also reach out to us as well. We can point you in the right direction. Um, will generic software as a service become less valuable? I'd say yes, because people, you're democratizing these bits of tools and softwares, so they really need to offer value. Or, in fact, Neil Patel, he used to charge for Uber Suggest. I think one of his tools called Uber Suggest, or maybe
Yeah,
there's
it is.
definitely
Yeah,
one. Yeah,
yeah.
he used to charge a monthly fee for it, and now he's gone on this marketing campaign where it's just a one-off cost now,
Mm.
because he probably realizes that people can just go and use these large language models, LLMs, to create what what Uber Suggest already does.
Mm. Yeah, so it could be the end of the SaaS type business if everybody can create their own software. But I suppose those businesses, if they can pivot, if they can change. So you
Mm.
brought up HubSpot earlier. So HubSpot is a great CRM and has various other things built into it. But now, if I ran a barbershop, I could probably create a barbershop CRM. But I wonder if HubSpot will have a feature within HubSpot in the future where you press, I'm a barber,
Mm.
make this specific for barbers,
Yeah.
and you can edit yourself maybe within HubSpot's platform.
If the CEO of HubSpot just heard this, reach out to us because you heard it first.
Yeah.
So let's just give us all a reality check here. Just because you can build it, should you? And think about where you can go wrong. Well, I think it's always worth giving things a go. Give it a try. If you don't try, you won't know. Uh, and pilot it. Do have create the tool, speak to your families and friends, send a link to them, ask them if it's valuable. Maybe speak to some of your trusted clients, see if they think it's a bit of value add. Then implement. If not, then reiterate. Go back to the drawing board, create something else. Where could this go wrong? I think, of course, to really, in some instances, you do need a little bit of technical knowledge. For example, to connect things to the cloud. If you're just using Claude, Lovable is a bit more pre-built in that it can, it's all built in. So, for example, if you wanted to store data, it's already set up to connect to the various external bits of software, for example, GitHub or Superbase or the cloud. Whereas with Claude, you need to kind of connect it all yourself. So you might get a bit of technical knowledge. Any other thoughts that you had there?
I suppose things that could go wrong. One could be the danger of setting up your system in an unsecure.
Mm,
There's been some
yes.
news stories about people's API keys being found
Yep.
in their own tool, so that could cost you money if you don't set it up correctly and put a password on your software. And on the point of anyone can build software now. Should you? I agree with you. I think everybody give it a go and see what they can build. It's so easy now. There's no reason why you should. If you've got £20 to invest in a Claude subscription for one day, for 1 month, you could spend 2 hours, 3 hours on the weekend,
Yeah.
and like I did last weekend, and develop any tools that you could use
Bloody brilliant, mate.
going forward for your business. And then I took those 8 tools, I presented those to the team on Tuesday last week, and they were all flabbergasted and amazed by them. And we've started using those tools in our workflow as of last week, and hopefully to make us more productive and more efficient, provide a better service.
8 tools in 2 to 3 hours. Honestly, you probably could create a tool within 10 minutes. Just give it a go. It's free. You can start off free, you know? Um, so that's brilliant. Now, where do you start? Think about the most repetitive task in a business. Think about software that you wish you could afford to buy. Maybe you could replicate that. Think about pain points in your business as well. Oh, I don't like quoting for cakes. If you're a baker, build a quote tool. I don't like speaking with customers. You might be you might be screwed, but create a chatbot. You can literally create it. Come comment. In fact, comment the issue that you have with your business on the bottom of this episode, and we'll provide you with a solution. How about that?
Sounds good. Sounds almost too good to be true.
Yeah. Any other points before you come to closing here, Josh?
Yeah, I think just to repeat what you said, I would start with the most repetitive tasks, which you do often, most a daily, weekly basis, and look to see how you could automate that or create some software to help you do that in a more efficient manner.
And the reason why I offered those generous kind of bits of advice for people is because this is episode 100, right?
That's true.
This is 100th episode. Every single week we've been publishing an episode, and we want to continue to do it for you guys. So please do give us a follow, because that encourages us to keep going when we see that growth. If you like and you enjoyed listening to us as well so far, please go and rank us, give us 5 stars. So let's just close out here. The businesses that win won't just use software. They'll look at replacing it by building their own. They'll look at differentiating themselves. They'll look at increasing their profit margins as well. Any other closing remarks from you, Josh?
That sounds perfect to me.
Thank you for listening, and we hope to see you in the next 100th or episode 200. Hope you stick around. Thank you for listening.